Stoner Wood are part of the Lion Group, a big conglomerate. They're not an independent brewery, but do they produce some good beers? Well, I've reviewed a few of their beers, and to be honest, I've never been a big fan of them. I did get to try and have reviewed, I think maybe twice. Sometimes I review a beer and then forget that I've drunk it and reviewed it and review it again. But Stoner Wood did produce a big pale ale, and above the legend Big Pale Ale, they had the word Hinterland, and it was a limited release. How that differs from the standard release, I have no idea. But here's a glass, and here's a can of Stone and Wood Big Pale Ale, which I got at Dan Murphy's at Mona Vale the other day. This is from Byron Bay, that sort of alternative culture sort of suburb up the coast. And it's a 5.6% ABV, 375ml can. There we are, nicely packaged. Let's get it into a glass, people. And there we go. Nice amber color. This purple can. Big head. Plenty of carbonation. Let's have a sniffy poo. Citrusy. Marmalade. I like the marmalade smell. Now that's a beer I haven't had for a while. You know, when you review beers, you're looking for something different all the time. But there's always those go-to beers. Like, for example, Bent Spokes Crankshaft. That's my go-to beer. Yuli's Amanda. That's one of my go-to beers. You know, if there's nothing floating my boat, they're the kind of beers I get, especially when they're on special. And Tinnies at one point used to be my go-to brand, and especially their IPA, which had that lovely dense marmalade flavor. Well, this has got a lovely marmalade flavor. It's almost an IPA. It's almost like a pale ale IPA sort of blend, this one. There's definitely that citrusy, passion fruity, mango-y intensity there. Perhaps not as strong or intense as the Tinnies IPA. Let's have a taste. It's pretty good. It's perhaps not as intense as the Tinnies. And Tinnies, for you people out there, is a brand name or a brewery or a brand name that's made for part of the marketing sphere of Liquorland. So they want to produce some beers, or they want to have some beers produced for them. So they've created this Tinnies brand, and they put out an IPA, they put out a NEPA, and they put out a lager, they put out this XYZ. So, but Tinnies, you know, delivers at a cheap price, and it's a good brand name, especially their IPA. I'm a huge fan of that. Now this, slightly less of a medium mouthfeel. It's got a good flavor profile. It doesn't quite have that intensity of flavor, but it's a nice beer. Now, whether this differs substantially from the Hinterland, we had Hinterland just written across there on that limited release. Same color, same packaging otherwise. Whether it differs substantially from that, I don't know. I don't recall. I don't even recall whether I liked, particularly that other one. But this is a good one. Is it a shelf of fame material? Yeah. This is a good, I think, session beer. It's 5.6% ABV, so it's not going to disappoint. It says full-bodied refreshment, big hop aromas, and I think that's probably true. I think it's a good marketing packaging. It's a good beer for a big conglomerate, a big brewing giant. Whether Stoner Wood was independent at the time and then got bought out like a lot of them do. Bit gassy tonight. I don't know. I don't know what the history is. Stoner Wood have got a good following. If you go to a bar, and a lot of the bars, the ordinary bars, they're gonna have your VB, new, old, maybe even a Bolter. And then you've got the other bars, of course, that have all the craft beers lined up. But if you go to one of those ordinary bars, VB and stuff, you either go to Bolter for a bit of a leaning towards the craft scene, or more often than not, there's a Stone and Wood standing by. It's not a great alternative. It's not a strong, bold craft beer brand, but it's pretty bloody good. This particular one especially delivers. It's really nice. Give it a go. Enjoy it. Enjoy your beer.